Hey everyone, it's Deanna Fenton, and I want to welcome you today to Simple Steps to Online Success. I've got some pretty exciting news or information to share with you today. Originally what I had done was offer to my Reinvention Revolution Facebook group the opportunity to test out what is called the talk show format here on BeLive with me, but I really didn't get any takers. So at the same time, however, I discovered that there is a new feature of this platform that I was granted access to yesterday, and I'm going to play around a little bit with that with you today. I hope you enjoy it. We're going to cover two different topics then. We're going to talk a little bit more about using BeLive platform with Facebook Live to be able to create your own version of Q&A sessions, talk show format, and all that good stuff. And then we're going to dive into the original topic that I had scheduled for today, which is going to be talking about using messenger bots in your social media marketing. So let's talk a little bit first about BeLive. And I talk about BeLive every week when I'm on this broadcast because it's a fantastic tool that I'm enjoying. I have been doing a tremendous amount of testing and tweaking and playing around with different platforms that allow me to live stream video to both Facebook and also YouTube as well. So obviously you probably are already aware pretty much every business page and certainly every personal profile has access to be able to go live on your Facebook profile or a business page or a group or a Facebook event. So you can use, and that covers both mobile and your computer, desktop, laptop, whatever you're using. So in addition to that, there are third-party tools that you can use that allows a little more flexibility, some more functionality, and you can also do the same thing on YouTube. So YouTube has its own live streaming version that you can use. Some of these tools work on both platforms, which is obviously a huge benefit, and others, like BeLive right now, is solely on Facebook alone. So I think that's probably a good idea. Next week on the show, I'll do sort of a roundup of the different tools that I've experimented with and kind of give you the pros and cons on each one. Honestly, for ease of use, BeLive is my favorite, and I've been consistently using it probably for close to about 6 months. As I said, I've tested some other options. Some are, even for myself, they were pretty complicated or, maybe a little more labor intensive to set up and actually use. The only thing that BeLive misses is screen sharing. However, late yesterday afternoon, one of the people in our BeLivers group suddenly logged into her talk show format and she had screen sharing. So everybody kind of went cuckoo over that. I actually contacted BeLive and begged to have it, but they are very cautious when they roll out new features, and they have some people beta test it and they roll it out in small increments. So unfortunately at this point, I'm not on the list. However, what I am going to use today to talk about our other topic is a functionality that I discovered was part of their talk show format. So let's talk about what that particular format does. So it's really designed as though you are going to have a talk show. It gives you the opportunity to invite other people to be on your broadcast with you, and you screen share between yourselves and have up to 3 people on camera at the same time. So this is a really Great opportunity. You can use this. Just some of the ideas I had is it's great for group coaching. If you have a Facebook group and you do some group coaching with your clients, if you're doing a course and you want to do something that's a little more personal, because, you know, there are a lot of Facebook Lives that people are doing in their course Facebook pages. And they're typically, they put out a post the day before and says, post your questions. And then you have to read the questions and you answer the person's question online. Well, with this format, you can actually have people access BeLive through a link, and they can be in what is called the lobby. So you can have up to 3 people on camera at the same time. But you can have up to, and I just drew a blank, I believe it's up to 10 people waiting in what they call the lobby. And you can rotate people in and out of being on camera. So I think that's a fantastic use for any type of interaction where you want to have more of a face-to-face with people, whether you're going to do it as an actual talk show kind of format, or you want to use it for coaching. It's really a great tool. So while I was on vacation over the last couple of weeks, I was notified, again, they roll things out rather carefully and methodically. I was given access to this, even though there were some people who have had access for it for about maybe 4 to 6 weeks or so. So they had rolled it out to me. I started testing it and playing with it a little bit yesterday, and discovered, in addition to the ability to have other people on here, I can access static images that I upload to my Facebook page or my personal profile in an album, for example. So what I can do, for example, during our second part of our conversation today, where I'm going to talk about using messenger bots in your marketing, I can actually share some screen captures that I did. So for example, I'm going to go ahead and add one to the broadcast and show that to you. I'm not sure how clear that is. Should be pretty good depending on what you're watching this on. So I can do static images, screen captures that I've done, so I can talk about the various aspects of this messenger bot tool, but I can't demo it. So that's the screen sharing part that I am just absolutely itching to get a hold of. So as soon as I have that, it's going to blow the doors off of every other tool that I've been testing, because that is the biggest challenge, because a lot of the things that I do are focused on showing you some great simple steps to online marketing, and being able to demo those things is pretty crucial. It's pretty important, because I can talk all day long and describe things, but you want to see things actually in action. And that's one of the things that I think I can do to help you out, because there are so many tools out there today, is give you that behind the scenes. So for example, one of the things I did is constantly I'm testing out these different new tools that are focused on live streaming. And I used one called Living Stream, and I had recorded a behind the scenes, the actual video of me using it. And it was easier than OBS. And I had read somewhere that it actually is using the OBS Studio platform, which is another live streaming application. But this one was web-based, and it came across as a little more user-friendly. But I keep coming back to BeLive. It's just a lot more user-friendly. It's got some great formats. They've got some great support. It's a wonderful, wonderful community. If you are exploring live streaming and you're testing out BeLive, check out the BeLivers group Facebook group because it's a really great bunch of people, and they give you lots of opportunities to publicize your live streams during or on their Facebook page as well. So back to this screen sharing and this thing. Oh, hi. Let's see. Oh, hey, well, nice to meet you too, Bora. So Bora says, my videos are really nice. Thank you. I really appreciate that. And that's one of the things that I really do love about this platform, because I've always done a lot of teaching, and a lot of my teaching has been through webinars, which are fantastic, but they're really kind of one-sided, right? We can't have that kind of interaction. There are others, I know there is things like Zoom that does allow you to do that, and you can have more of a face-to-face. And I think that, especially today, that is so much more valuable, and people really, really enjoy that kind of level of personalization. So that is why BeLive is really great, because at the very least, rather than show you screenshots, which is what I'm going to do when we talk about messenger bots, I can have other people on the broadcast as well. So we're going to get there, though. I'm going to get some of you people who are a little shy. I had some people that said, oh, I want to do it, but I'm not sure about my my laptop's webcam and my microphone. And yeah, I can understand that. That can get a little challenging too. But the talk show format is great. So let me just cover real fast. So BeLive allows you to do a Q&A, which is generally just me on the screen and being able to do things such as when Bora made the comment, I was able to show the comment right here on the screen, and we can have a little interaction that way. They also have something they call the face-to-face, which is 2 people. I have done a couple of those as examples, which you can see on my page, or you could see on my website, that I've done with my friend Kim, where we've had conversations talking about a specific topic, and there's the 2 of us on there. So if you're doing any kind of podcasting where you have guests, that's a great opportunity for you to have people on your show, and you have a dialogue, you have a conversation with them. The third format is what we're doing right now, kind of doing right now, is talk show. And talk show allows me, if I wanted to, and I'll just show you with my little screen sharing, is I can have up to 3 people, including myself. Actually, I can also back out of this, and I can actually have more people on if I wanted to. But you can have all these different layouts, and you can have 3 people on. So the idea, of course, then is to be able to have a really great dialogue and have questions. And yeah, Kim, these are just images. So Kim, I discovered when I was testing this yesterday, I don't have screen sharing yet. They just rolled that out last night to a bunch of beta testers. However, what I do have is the opportunity to take screenshots and pull those from my Facebook album, and then I can show screenshots on camera. So yeah, and the layout options, she likes the layout options because you can move those around. Now, I'll tell you the truth. I'm going to hide myself, and I'm going to go back here. Yeah, see, it doesn't quite, there's supposed to be the function that I can actually pull myself out of the image. And I'm missing that somewhere. You'd think I would get all my, my things in a row, but there is supposed to be an option where I can out of the broadcast. That was pretty weird. So yeah, if I click this, there's a little green button here. If I click the little green button, it actually pulls me into the lobby. And so for those of you that are thinking of using this in an honestly kind of talk show format, you can pull yourself out, allow 3 guests to be on camera, and then rotate them through. Yeah, Kim, it was pretty weird. It's not very intuitive. That's like one of the only things is it's not terribly intuitive. There was just like a little green button in my picture and I clicked on it and it pulled me out. Yeah, and Colleen says I went mute. Yeah, because the idea is it pulls you out and you act like a producer where you can manipulate the other people on camera, but it mutes you. So yeah, kind of a weird thing. So that's talk show. Pretty cool. We do get to do the screen sharing, so I am going to go through that. And I believe you'll be able to hear me because I'm not going to pull myself into the lobby again. So I am going to talk a little bit about this aspect of marketing because it's something that I'm sure all of you have heard the term selective perception. It was one of those things I remember from high school psychology. And it's really talking about how once you become conscious of something, you have a level of awareness of it, suddenly that thing appears everywhere in your view and in your world. So, my favorite story, of course, is, you think about buying a particular model of car and all of a sudden on the road, all you see are those cars. So this is an interesting concept that's been presented, which is now, and I'm interested if you've experienced this, any of you that are online with me right now, if you had any experience with messenger bots through Facebook's Messenger app. Just let me know whether you have or not. I know Kim has, because we've been talking about this for several weeks. And it's something that is really starting to appear more and more. And it's one of these typical social media things. Okay, so Colleen says she hasn't. Okay, so this will probably be pretty interesting for you, Colleen, and you are going to probably start to see more of them now. What has happened is Facebook has created this means of doing a automation using the Messenger application. So probably all of you use Messenger and use it to communicate with Facebook friends, to connect with people through Facebook. So of course we all know Facebook's goal is to make Facebook our world. In other words, they want to really control the environment. So we are doing all our connecting and communications through Facebook. Because, of course, that opens the portal for their advertising programs, that it gives them greater exposure for their advertising clients, like all of us solo business owners, as well as big brands, so that wants to control your eyeballs, basically. That's the way I look at it. So they are really trying to focus on making Messenger one of our primary tools of communication. So to go along with that is the opportunity to use Messenger to market. Same thing with advertising, because now they actually do have advertising as well that utilizes Messenger bots. So you're going to hear me use the term bots a lot, and bots is the term that's being used to talk about automations. Any kind of automation that you can set up using the Messenger app utilizes this technology that they are referring to as a bot. So once Facebook has rolled this out, now there are many third-party providers that are stepping in to facilitate the use of Messenger bots. So one of them is the one that I've been testing, and it's called ManyChat. So the screens that I've got here that we're going to be rolling through are all taken from a messenger, the messenger application, the tool ManyChat. And that was one of my frustrations. I just want to say that I wanted to get actually their website image on here, and you have to sync the images you're sharing on Be Live and have them there before. Oh, you've been getting messages from so-called friends, but it's their sales pitches. Yeah, now it's interesting you say that, Colleen, because one of the things they're supposed to be doing is gaining permission. So before I really dive into it, let's talk a little bit about kind of the process and communication. So we're all familiar with email marketing. Email marketing is strictly regulated in our country. You said meant they're sales pitches, but they're not automated ones. I know what you mean. Yeah, and there's a lot of people that are doing that, and that's really quite a turnoff. So let me describe what the difference is with this, because much like we've done with email marketing, the goal of using these messenger bots and these third-party tools like ManyChat is to open the dialogue with people and to get them to subscribe. So it's exactly the same thing as email marketing. So you may say, why would this come up these days when we're talking about email marketing being a very effective tool? Well, the truth is, and this is one of those things I have actually noticed in my business as well, but not understanding that it is really more of a trend, is that currently email message open rates have been steadily declining. Because if you think about it, we've had email for so many years, and now we have so many other tools, such as text messaging, such as Facebook Messenger, that the ways that we communicate with each other has really changed. And email, especially for a younger demographic, is probably their least likely channel that they're actually going to be able to you're going to be able to reach them. So open rates have been steadily declining, yet something like Messenger is experiencing a really, really higher response rate than email marketing. And it's saying that messaging rates, response rates is about 98%. Now, I think that might be an exaggeration. I think I'm sure it's quite high. I think, however, it's maybe based a little bit more on the novelty of it. Hi, Alfredo. Email is still useful to some users, and I completely agree with you. I still use email primarily. They are very quick to add. Using messenger bots is not necessarily in place of your email marketing. And we're going to talk in just a few moments about how it can complement it, because I personally have said for many, 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 many years, Facebook is a fantastic tool for us. Facebook has figured out how to monetize their platform and get us to pay for a lot of the features and a lot of the benefits that we as small business owners are trying to get from using social media. So everybody in online marketing's always maintained you still want to have an email list, because Facebook controls the access to your followers because you're not being able to reach them directly. Because again, you don't have their email address, right? So always, 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 we've talked about building an email list. So have I considered LinkedIn as a social platform? I have, actually, Alfredo. But the goal and the best tool or the best option in your marketing is to go where your ideal customer avatar is. And for me, it's Facebook. And it's also very difficult to maintain a consistent presence on all social networks. So it's best to always focus on the ones that are going to give you the best access to your ideal customer. So, and I will tell you honestly, because, LinkedIn is going through some changes as well. So it's going to be interesting to see how they monetize that platform as well. So obviously any of these platforms can have tremendous value depending on who your ideal client is and who you're trying to reach and where they are. So to get back to the email marketing versus the messenger bots is I've looked at, okay, I understand it's messenger bots. And I will tell you right up flat because, I am not typically the one who goes, oh, great, let's follow every single trend, because I look at it from my personal perspective. So I've been testing this in terms of subscribing to some people online that have been using messenger bots in creating these sequences. And it took me like 24 hours before I unsubscribed from one person. And he's a really big name in online marketing, because I got about 7 or 8 messages from him in 24 hours. And that is just too much for me. It's worse than that. To me, that's worse than email. So there's value in using messenger bots because I personally think it's the novelty. I think the fact that it's something new, I think people are going to respond because they're curious. It's something new. They haven't necessarily seen it before, and they're going to respond. And I'm going to describe what makes it a little different than, for example, Colleen's example of she just has people messaging her with canned offers, right? Trying to pitch her and sell her something. So I'm going to talk a little bit about the testing I did with this particular tool, which I said it's called ManyChat. So in ManyChat, it's interesting because I'm also following a group that's doing a lot of discussion about the use of messenger bots in marketing. And this is the platform that they also recommend. There are others. There's one I heard mentioned called Chatfuel, Chatfire. There's several other options. ManyChat is very good. It's pretty straightforward. I hope you can see the screen well enough. I am going to check over here. Okay, I can see it on my screen. Looks like you probably can see it pretty well. So this was just, for example, and you can see I haven't done a tremendous amount of testing with it. I got 3 subscribers right now. But it is a platform that allows you to create automation sequences using Messenger as the platform. So if I go through over, show you another screen here. So here is an example, and this was the first test that I used, and that is you can create a keyword. So if you create a keyword in this particular tool, what happens is in a Facebook Live broadcast, so I'll give you a perfect example of how I tested this. I created a keyword called Connect Live, and I asked people to enter Connect Live in the comments while I was on my Facebook Live. And what happened is it triggers an automation, and it triggers a sequence of emails that, talking about email, of messages that go out to you. So you may say, of course, oh, Alfredo, you say you can see it if you enlarge the video. Good. Well, I'm glad. This is again, this is still a beta test of, being able to do at least share these images. So we got to kind of work with it. So once you create the keyword and it triggers an automation, you can say, immediately send a confirmation. So this is now where we also focus on permission-based marketing. And that is that these tools, such as ManyChat, are pretty much operating under the same kind of requirements as email marketing, which is you must gain permission to contact people. So one of the immediate, and you can't, let's see if I can pull up. Let's pull up one of these other images. Okay. Let's see, is that the one I'm looking for? That's the main menu. Hang on. See, I can actually scroll through these, which is not too bad. Okay, here we go. So this is an example of a sequence. So the first thing that goes out is basically requesting permission to continue to communicate with you. So that's extremely important. And, you know, as Colleen pointed out, she's probably been contacted by people trying to sell to her using Messenger that have not gained permission to contact her in a sales capacity. So this uses the same permission-based focus that email marketing operates under. And that simply means you need to get permission to continue to contact people. Now, you don't immediately contact people and try and sell them, because nobody likes that. Everybody hates that, in fact. So the idea is, just like email marketing, just like people who opt in for a lead magnet on your website, you want to be able to provide education and provide value to continue, basically to earn the right to continue to communicate with these people. So using a sequence, and this was a sequence that I used, I think I had, again, used the Connect Live keyword, it triggered a sequence. And the first sequence was a confirmation. It required the person to be able to say to me, yes, I am saying I am interested in hearing more from you. So here is how a lot of people are using this with, let's see, the first sequence says intro and unsubscribe instructions. So the default, you're subscribed and you must unsubscribe. No, Colleen, what it's telling you is it's an introduction, and it immediately, just like our email marketing requires that we have to give option to unsubscribe, you have to tell the Messenger subscriber how to unsubscribe right off the bat. So you do have to operate under the same requirements that we do in email marketing, which you must tell them how they can unsubscribe. So, and then when they do unsubscribe, again, using a tool like this, it automatically unsubscribes them. So you can no longer communicate with them. So, so it's just like email marketing. They have to confirm that they want to hear from you. You must communicate with them how they can unsubscribe from you. Then you focus on the sequence that would take them through what it is you want to offer. So, for example, you may, and I've seen it done some really clever things. So I am going to share with you, I would, if I were you, I would go to, oh my gosh, hang on a second. I want to find the name of the group so I can give you the correct information. The group that I'm following that is using ManyChat as the example. Oh, I have their opt-in right here. And this is a great opt-in that I would recommend. It's called the Bot Academy. And I'll tell you what, let me, I can put that on the screen for you. Hang on a second. Bot Academy. Okay. So look for that group on Facebook, free Facebook group. Ask to join. They will, first of all, they'll probably send you the information, or it will, you can click on a link and you can start their sequence, and you can get this particular opt-in, which is what every marketer needs to know. Let me get in front of the camera. What every marketer needs to know about bots in 2017. It's a lot of pages, but it's not a lot of content, truthfully, but it's pretty straightforward to give you an excellent overview of how this all works. And it starts out with, why should you care about this? So going back to this and talking a little bit more about this, you then create the sequence where they subscribe, they have unsubscribe option, and then it takes you through, would you like to learn more? It gives valuable information. Then there is a button that's a call to action. Would you like to learn more? You click that, it sends you another message. And what they've done is just exactly the same thing that we've been doing in email marketing with our lead magnets for years now, which is there is a sequence. Wait 2 days, send another message. Wait 3 days, send another message. And what you're doing is, again, providing value and building the relationship. So it's a really fantastic concept. I will tell you, it's interesting to me because one of the benefits, or one of the reasons why they say you should care about using this in your marketing is messaging apps are preferred over email by every age group. Not a surprise, except those 45 and older. And I fall into that, I gotta tell you. However, I am gonna test this. Now, this is the important component, in my opinion, which is I'm not giving up on email, because especially given that my target market is 50 and over, they're still sticking with email. I mean, there are going to be some people that are going to be early adopters, or they're going to be comfortable with this type of marketing approach. But the other thing is, I am still not willing to give up control of a relationship to Facebook. Or any social platform for that matter. So that means I still want the email address. So what I would do, and am doing, is I am creating landing pages, and part of my sequences, because let's see how many, I could only upload so many of these images. I think, let me see if I can pull up another one of the images for you. No, it's not. One of the challenges I've got is it only syncs the images from my album. There's a time delay in the syncing. But what I would do is, you have the option now to be able to create these sequences, and you can send people to an external URL. I would do a landing page. That's what I would do. I would say, do you want this special offer, this lead magnet? Send them to the landing page. Now, yeah, some people may get a little annoyed, like, well, why do I now have to enter my email address? But it depends on your market. And for me, I would consistently feed in an easy way for them to provide the email address to get something more of value. So let's just say, for example, you wanted to use this as an opportunity to get people maybe to register for a webinar or something, is you might use the messenger bot and then send them to the webinar registration page, and they're going to have to enter their email address. Or if you were going to do a Facebook Live and you have them say, you know, yes, I want to participate in the Facebook Live, and you send them a message that gives them the details of when and where, maybe you're going to have an additional handout, and you say, to get the most out of this webinar, I really recommend you download this worksheet to use during the webinar, and then you send them to a landing page and you get their email address. So I just think that there's ways around this, or there's ways to incorporate it that's not intrusive, because I think that's really one of the main things that people object to with a lot of this marketing automation is your offer or whatever it is you're trying to provide really has to meet their needs and has to provide tremendous value. And then they don't look at it so much as it being intrusive. So that's kind of just an overview of these messenger bots. Let me just tell you, ManyChat is the one that I'm using. It came recommended highly. I found out after I started playing with it that this Bot Academy that I talked about, they recommended as well. There's other ones that operate as well. It is free, but to do the automation, it's just like every other third-party tool out there. If you want a little more sophisticated functionality, like the automation, it's $10 a month, but you know, it's $10 a month. It's really not that much. So it remains to be seen the value of building a subscriber list on Facebook, but it's one of those things that I think we all need to be aware of, because certainly we're going to be part of it, because we are going to be targeted, and it's going to be interesting to see as well. One thing I noticed in some of the training videos that I have seen so far, you're going to have an option on a landing page to be able to include that messenger link. I found, let me bring up another great use for this particular tool and this kind of focus on your marketing is it's also great for support. For example, BeLive is using Messenger as their primary means of you contacting them for any kind of support. So you probably are already aware that on your Facebook page, you can set up automated replies to messages that people send. You can do that right now without utilizing these third parties like ManyChat, but it's pretty limited. I mean, it's really something more along the lines of, if somebody sends a message, you could say, I'll be happy to respond to you, and I typically respond in less than 4 hours or whatever it is. So you can set some little automated responses just using Facebook, the Facebook Messenger app, but the more sophisticated automations that we're talking about, you do need these third-party tools. So I will let you know more about it as I explore it and share it with you. We'll probably be using it more here on these broadcasts as well. Some of the things that you can do is probably not in this particular format, but you can incorporate same kind of opt-in tools that you use on your website. You can have little slide-ins that come in from the lower corner of your screen. You can have pages. You can, at this point it said you can't really, when you send a messenger app, it doesn't send a video, but again, you can send somebody to a landing page to see a video. If you check out the Bot Academy, I highly recommend you follow along some of, they're still using email marketing to market this, because I'm on their list and I'm getting these emails. They have some really great videos online on YouTube if you want to take a look at them. Let me get that for you real fast. Gosh, I thought I had it. It's either Mixology or look for Bot Academy. I will tell you, I am in their sequence, so let me just tell you how the sequence worked. I found out about it. I responded, and it started giving me an automation through the bots, through Messenger. It does occasionally send me outside of Facebook to a landing page, or for example, to download their lead magnet. I actually got that off a landing page, but they're still doing email marketing, because, you know, I am in their email sequence, and one of the things is they have a course coming up. So I know that I am in the funnel towards the offer of this course because they say, oh no, the course isn't available yet. And I noticed today that I think I'm getting closer and closer in the funnel that offer is going to come up. So if you have any questions, please let me know. Like I said, I like to keep everybody up to date. I like to kind of give you hopefully a fairly objective view on this. It's something you should be aware of, and depending on your market, who you're trying to sell to, this could be a really tremendous way of reaching people and creating that engagement. Because again, we want to be where our ideal customers are. And if they are on Messenger and that is their tool of choice, you want to have an option to be able to connect with them there. It's interesting to see, because I certainly had noticed that email open rates and click-through rates are significantly lower. I will tell you right now, the case studies that they are talking about, again, tremendous response rates as well as click-through rates. And in this opt-in that they offer, this lead magnet, they give an example of something like a yoga studio. That a yoga studio, how they would use it to get people into a funnel and get them converted to come to a yoga studio. So it's one of those things that it's not just for online businesses. It's being utilized by a lot of regular brick and mortar businesses. And this is something we all should be aware of. And I want to help to keep you informed and let you know of these things. So anyway, if you have any questions, you can always reach me at deanna@deannafenton.com. And join me next week on Thursday at 12 noon. If you are 50 and over and interested in learning more about creating an online business or growing your online business, check out the Reinvention Revolution, and that's my free Facebook group. And it's focusing on those of you that are looking at reinventing your life over 50 and making sure that the third chapter of your life is even more fulfilling and profitable for you. So take care, and I look forward to talking to you again real soon. Bye-bye.